Hey everybody, this is Grace. I thought I'd come out here before it gets dark and do a little video, because of the pandemic. I'm doing it in my SUV. See, today is July 5th, and it's 2020. It's 8:17 p.m. This one I'm going to talk about more about what I have been talking about. This would be the fourth video, and it's about these narcissistic kind of histrionic people that have narcissistic and histrionic kind of behaviors. The ones that trying to ruin something in your life. I'm sorry this is jumping around. It seems like it's actually inside the camera doing that. But when they try to ruin your life and try to take everything from you. I'm going to go deeper into that, and it's going to be about, as people call it, when they're going no contact with people. Now we got to remember, when you go no contact with people, that can be very dangerous, and that includes physical. So this is not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing, and I'm not giving anybody any advice. And when I say you, I don't mean you personally. It's just the way I have been probably most of my life. When I tell a story, you have a lot of people do that. I'm not the only one. They'll say you, and they don't really mean you. So let me get started. Okay, maybe this won't jump around like that, but anyway, today, one of the things, I've thought about this before in my life, and I've actually gone no contact with people who were very toxic for me, really did some really bad things. And, like when you grow up with people, well, it would turn out that it was more of low contact, but overall no contact. And that was, see, how many years ago was that? 7.5, somewhere around there. And so very little contact all around. But like I've been talking about this story about Annie and the evil one, and Mary, the friend, and talking about that. I'm kind of using those two as more of a, each one is more of a composite of people, in the situations. So not really just one person, but behaviors of people I've seen who've done this. But anyway, this is about no contact. I've done videos about this before. A lot of people do this. They go no contact with the bad people in their lives. And they've just had enough. They've seen too much. They try to talk to them, whatever, and they're just not. I'm sorry, I had the air conditioner going the wrong direction. So I hope it didn't make too much noise, but I had the defroster on. But anyway, real life happens in the middle of a video. But, people go no contact with people that they just can't bear anymore. They just can't deal with it. It's not the silent treatment, it's the no contact. I don't want you to contact me anymore. I don't want to have anything to do with you. That kind of thing. And sometimes it's dysfunctional families. Sometimes it's friends. Many types of people. Types of relationships, I mean. People just say, that's it. No more. I don't, no more of this. I don't want you to contact me at all. Okay, now here's the thing. That works for some people. Like I say, this can be dangerous when the person does that. So people pay the consequences to their own actions and inactions. Nobody can tell you how to do it, what to do, or to do that. Nobody should be telling you that. Anyway. But no contact isn't always enough for some people. Like, say, if you're in a dysfunctional family and you go you have a really bad mother or dad, either one, whatever, and you say, I don't want to deal with them anymore. Well, just going no contact with them might not be enough, that one dad or mom, whichever one, because the other people, and many of us already know this, that the other people are going to try to say, well, you just need to forgive that person. That's family. You always forgive them. No, they've been abusive, and some of them, they're not going to believe it because they were never abused. They say, you're making it up. A lot of things. And say you have a sibling, say one of them you really like, you really get along with, and they also agree. They know that this happened, that that family member is narcissistic or whatever, is abusive. The other ones don't, or they're in denial. And you really want to, have contact with that one sibling, but not the rest. Not the rest of the family. Or whatever is the situation, So, But if you have contact with that other one, there's a good chance they're going, unless that other one is also totally no contact with anybody that's in any way knows them, there could be a lot of problems. Because, like the people I've been describing that would try to ruin your life, okay, seriously, just ruin everything, anything good about your life. Like people say the best revenge is living a good life. No. With these, well, for some it is. But with these people, like the ones I'm describing that will ruin your life, they'll take everything from you, your friends, your anything they can take, from money to friendships to where you don't even want to return to your old hometown because they've gotten everybody against you, from behind the scenes doing the smear campaign on you when you're not there. This kind of thing. These people, you live a good life and they find out about it, they're going to try to ruin it. Okay, and so to me, I've been thinking a lot about this, but it's not the first time. But this kind of combination with these videos I'm doing brought me back to this point. That it's really not just no contact. It's also no access. For some people. For some people that would have to be it. That they have no access to know anything about what's going in your life. Nobody that that you speak to would go back and tell them, what's going on in your life, or tell somebody who knows them. And then, how the whole gossip thing goes. And it gets back to them somehow, some way. That you're having something good happen in your life. Or you're just alive, period. They will try to ruin it. Okay? They're going to try to, in every way, shape, or, form, fashion, they're going to ruin it. They suddenly lost control of their victim. Somebody, some people say, anyway, their target, their victim, their scapegoat, their so many names people name it, but no, whatever you want to call it, they don't like that. They want to, and they feel they have to have control. Now, this isn't the way all of them do it either. Nothing is all. It's not an all or nothing kind of thing where they all do just the exact same thing. No, they don't. And this is not a diagnosis of anybody. This is just a behavior. So they don't all do the same kind of behaviors. And the result isn't always the same. Okay? Some people think so. And, the best way to deal with it is not going to be the same for everybody, because there's different people, different situations. None of those are alike for everybody. Okay, so, but in my experience, yeah, they want, the ones I'm knowing, when I'm talking about the ones I know, they want that control. They want that scapegoat. They, the one they call the black sheep, the one they, pick fun at, the one they do all these things, take all their anger out on. Their disgust and loathing for themselves, they take it out on. They steal the person's money if they can. They'll steal items from them. Like I just said, all that, the friends and everything, they will steal from them. So if they don't know, if they have no access, there's no contact and no access, they can't steal because it's not there. Now, the problem with all that could be that because some of them are, the histrionics are just far too often, not all of them, but drama queens and drama kings. They might go and call the police for missing persons or something like that. And that's one of those things, if you're a missing person, you would appreciate it if somebody did, you see. But in this kind of situation, they're doing it to show that they still have control. You see, some of them are going to do that. Maybe they'll get one to do that because they still want control. They want that their victim, and I don't have a problem saying victim. You're not a survivor until you're away from it. You're a target when they haven't made you their victim yet. Okay? Don't let somebody even take that from you, saying, oh, everybody plays the victim, everybody's the victim. No, you are. When somebody's doing this, you are a victim of them. When you get away from it, you're a survivor. But anyway, like I said, so they want that control. And they're going to ensure some way, shape, form, or fashion that they're going to show that victim, I have control over you. No matter what you do, you can't get away from me because I'm the person who has the power. Okay. Now, years ago, I had a situation, I am serious, it was bad. It wasn't, at least I didn't feel like it was. It could have been, who knows, physically threatening. We all know abuse is not just physical, and physical abuse is not just physical abuse. But there's so many other types of abuse, and I really felt really awful. It was, it made me feel more like I was being histrionic, dramatic. But the problem was I wasn't being dramatic enough. There goes my voice. But it was a bad situation. I found out actually had documents. I found out some things that, oh, wow, it was awful. I'm not going to tell, of course, what it is. But it was many years ago. And I had traveled, and I was, when I found the documents, I was just so, oh my goodness, And I left from there, and I went to a hotel. It was actually a cheap motel. It was a bad one, as it turned out. I didn't know the area. Didn't know it was going to be that bad. The crazy people come out at night, kind of thing. But and I was looking at these documents, and I called somebody I thought was a decent person, but no, it was so freaky. I wasn't being paranoid. They were all in on it together. And I just happened to find out some things. And it was kind of like, I shouldn't have. Nobody said that they tried to play a game. And I realized just how bad, how many people were involved. And with me having that information, it put me in a really bad spot. And because of it, I said, okay, I have some money in my bank. That wasn't always the case. But I had some money in my bank, enough to go somewhere and to just go off grid. Really, seriously, go off grid. Not to the world, but to them. That they would not be able to contact me. Get a different phone number, get whatever. I think I had a cell phone back then. Probably did. I don't remember how many years ago it was. But just go, they had no access to me, and nobody would have access. And of course I thought, that's pretty dangerous. And I also thought that whole thing of they would probably call it for missing persons. But I really thought all of it through, and I said that I told myself that I would, tell the police they're dangerous to me, endangering me, my life, whatever, and I don't want them to know that I'm even alive. However you have to word it, it's up to you. But no. I was not, it was awful. But did I listen to myself? No. I should have done it back then. I should have. Because when this type has, they want that power, they will hold on tight to it. They have their grip, they're gripping you. And it's not ever you're always going to be theirs. Possessive, theirs. Their black sheep. If somebody outside the circle of, whatever it is, community or whatever, comes in and tries to treat you just like they do, yeah, you heard me say that right, then they'll attack that, verbally attack. I'm not talking about physical, but verbally attack that person, because you are their target. You are their victim. You are their black sheep. You are their scapegoat. Theirs. You see what I'm saying? Okay. But, as I'm saying, I didn't do that. And I should have. I really should have. I really should have gone somewhere and just started a new life. But, of course, there were people that I cared about. And I didn't want to, worry them. I didn't want to go into contact with them. But every once in a while, I'm reminded of how these are people who are going to try hard to ruin it, because history repeats. If you don't learn from history, you're bound to repeat the problem, and it's bound to repeat if you don't learn from it. And that my history with them, the patterns of their thing is that they're warming up. One of them is, I know, Annie, the one I call Annie in those other videos. She's warming up. I know she is. I'm 57 years old. My whole life I've dealt with her, and well, since childhood. Yeah, and it's here in the middle of all this. Of course, I couldn't just up and leave, and I wouldn't because of how the situation is. But I look back in then days, and say, yeah, I should have left, and really have started a new life. And that's sad to have said that. Like I said, there are some people I would want to, but people, that people who have compassion and people who have empathy, have empathy, and they express compassion or do whatever it is, they might hear that person, and we all know how abusive people are, so manipulative. Most of them are. I would say, I don't have any statistics, but my experience is they are very manipulative, and they would cry crocodile tears. Oh, is she okay? Is she this or she's that? And then the person that actually, feels empathy or whatever would spill the beans, you know. So it would have had to been total. And after that, there was so much of sadness and hurt in me that as more and more things unfolded, having that physical evidence, and then not knowing I actually gave it to one of them, not knowing that one was involved with it. And oh my goodness, it was just this stuff that it just kept evolving, and more was learned. Came to my attention. It was like, oh my goodness, how could people be that? I call them pure evil. Okay, now I know a lot of people think of pure evil, like Adam likes to watch those in ID, likes to watch that ID channel and all those shows on, and they pure evil means something different in those. Not that pure evil, but still, it was pure evil. A lot of what they do, they don't have, it's like psychopaths. I'm not diagnosing, but you know how psychopaths, they don't care much about what other people at all. Some would say narcissistic people don't either. Histrionics, borderlines, well, but I've seen it. And so that was on my mind, that it's not just no contact. For me, with them right now, I can't, right now I could actually do the no contact, no access, with no access at all to what's going on with me, and all that. But I do worry they would do something like call, the police for missing persons. I'm talking like 6-10 months, a year if they hadn't heard from me. Because, yeah, if you've ever just been upset and just not spoken to somebody, you just say that's it, no contact, they might not care if they ever hear from you again. If they're not getting their supply, it's like some people call it, their supply, their ego, whatever, or what they want to take out on you and all that, they go move to somebody else, So, but anyway, yeah, it's starting to get dark. Now, I really didn't have much sleep last night, and try to sleep during, take a nap, and I'm falling asleep, and it's 8:30, 6 p.m. I'm usually up till midnight or 1 o'clock, sometimes 2. I'm a night owl, always have been. But yeah, this kind of thing is on my mind because I've thought about this before, and then I would talk myself out of it, I guess. There is so much of that bond of pulling back, to certain people that you've spent much of your life, it could be friends, whatever, but there's that bond there. And I could, my degrees are in psychology and sociology. I could go also, my minor at one point was anthropology. And I could explain that in those kinds of terms, but yeah, but there's a pull. And for me, just some things that were, I mentioned in these videos, just such a trigger. And I'm like, people want to get closure. You don't get closure with those people. And I can't say that 100% across the board. You got to find your own way, your own closure. And that is, to me, for me, I'm not saying it would be for anybody else, but it's to take my power back. Because right now, even right now, they know that they could disrupt my life if they wanted to. I'm not doing anything, illegal or anything. It's just that they would make up crap. That's what they do with the smear campaign. They make up crap. And like I said, I worried that they would call the police, and the police would come out and, and my brain went from there with it. You know how that goes. Oh, I had to pause there because my allergies. So anyway, I should wrap this up, but I wanted to get this part out. You know, what's the thought on my mind. But see, I have another one that thought of this, because really, for me to move on, I keep going back and I keep returning to this, is that I need to find something that's going to make me feel I have my power back. They don't control my life, and so much of my life they have controlled. Seriously. I need to find a way to get it to where here I am at this age, and they can still have too much power over me. You know, too much. So I have to find that way. And I have more than one way I'm thinking about, like I said. But there's other videos. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this one up. I'll talk to you on another video.